All right, ready? Fist pounds all around. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another special episode of the D1 and Done podcast. This is season 2, episode 24 on February 24, year of our Lord 2025 AD. Like I said, this is another very special episode of the D1 and Done podcast, brought to you by, as always, my notes are correct, the official Mountain West correspondent and the benefactors of the podcast, the Hagen Hall Boys. Shout out, if you know who you are, you know who you are.
So you haven't paid a dime in about 6 months.
That's a good point. Have we gotten paid?
Yeah, no.
We're open for sponsorship then, so
Yes.
whether it's
It only received,
or anyone else, let us know.
we've only received criticism from our pseudo sponsor as well. So if
So
you're listening, sir, it's time to step up.
So you will receive more criticism than payments. That is always good to hear. But hey, if you like the show, you can follow us on social medias and you can email us at d1anddonepod@gmail.com. Leave us a like, or you can follow us on Facebook, give us a poke or something. Can you still poke on Facebook? Does anyone know? Is that still a thing?
I don't know.
I do not know either. I've not been in the poking game for a while. If not, you can also follow us on Twitter, Instagram, leave us a review and 5 stars and all that good stuff. If you've noticed, I hope you have, if you've been listening to the pod, I am not Mr. Robbie Donahoe. I am Nicholas Mills doing the intro today because after I went on vacation 2 weeks ago, Dusty did the same likewise last week. And then next, maybe by happenstance, Purdue goes in L4 and Robbie is taking his PTO this week. So today is just me, Nicholas Mills, and every woman's fantasy. The 3 Mills brothers together, me, Dusty, my second oldest brother, and Jake, my third oldest, and our oldest brother's being a father of 4. Shout out to him somewhere out there. Hope he's doing okay. But yes, hello, Dusty. Hello, Jake. Welcome to the pod, brother.
Happy to be here.
Happy to have you here. You're also doing our producing for us today as well, so thank you so much, sir. And as Robbie always like to point out, the D1 portion of our pod, Mr. Dustin Mills, is with us today as always. Welcome back from vacation, brother.
Thank you. Was in Disney World, had a great time. My 23rd, my Jordan trip. So I had a great time down there. Got to see, it was cold though, which was a bummer. I went with my wife.
What's cold though?
Well, the ladies were wearing 4 layers, if that says anything.
4?
Yeah, I mean, I had a jacket on 2 of the days. Saturday did get a little better, it was sunny, but yeah, I mean, it was, I would not, seriously, it was.
Oh, we're about to lose one of the Mills boys.
Yeah, wow. That's just Jake and I on the show today.
Oh my
Nick
God, I'm so
Nick.
sorry. I just took a drink of my prime, went down wrong too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So
No
it
free ends.
yeah, I won't do, someone who doesn't get cold. I was getting very cold the first couple days. So yeah, it was my vacation. Glad to be back. That's why I wasn't on Thursday. Happy Robbie's on his. I believe he's on a pilgrimage to Mecca right now to go find Purdue's basketball team. So that was the last I heard. And he took off his location on his phone, so I'm not sure. But maybe crossing international waters knocks it out. But good luck to Robbie.
Yeah, good luck to Rob. Again, he needs it after, because me and Jake were, boots on the ground in Assembly Hall yesterday, and boy, that 28-3 run to start the second half by IU was not good for the Boilers. Robbie, enjoy the Mecca.
And I will say this, sorry to Purdue fans, but it was actually, as someone who's pretty neutral for the game, I was watching on my flight home, and the area I was sitting in, almost everyone around me had the game on their phone, and it was all pro IU, but it was pretty cool on a flight hearing all these people just high-fiving each other on buckets, just on the flight. It was just a cool experience.
Well,
Especially the Hoosiers, they needed that. Purdue, got to figure something.
Were they high-fiving because they landed the plane safely, or did they high-five because of the Hoosiers?
Well, we're still in the air. We're still in the air when the game ended, so I guess that we're still alive. Yeah, sure.
Well, there's other big news in the world other than Crab's plane landing. We all brought a top story of college basketball. You know what, Jake? You're the guest today. It's not your first time on the pod, right? You did the conference.
I think I popped in from time to time.
Okay, your first, like, if it was like a TV show, your first official credits. So, Jake, I can't really get to ask you, what is your top story, buddy?
I have my top story, and I figured this out about an hour ago. Nick, do you know how long 1,000 days is?
That's 3 years, about.
Okay. Now 1,400 days would be just about 5.5 years, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if
It has been.
correct.
It
Wait,
has been 5.5 years ago, before COVID. 77 days. It's been that long since Kansas has not been in the top 25. And today marks that day that Kansas is no longer ranked in the top 25 of the men's college basketball.
The record is just over 4 years, but yes, go ahead.
4 years. I do my math wrong.
That was post-COVID, but yeah. Or in the middle of COVID.
37 days.
That is wild, though.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So that's 2021 seasons. Last time they've not been in. They did get the big one over Oklahoma State on Saturday, but yeah, we talked about on Thursday. They got annihilated last Tuesday. Yeah, I guess I didn't get the. We guys were on the Check Please pod. I guess Jake, since you brought it up, like, what do you at with Kansas? You think they can even turn around at this point? Is this a lost year? And Robbie thinks Bill Self might be done for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Actually, I see Robbie's vision on that as I was listening the other day to you guys, and for me, it's more of a. We're just in a whole world of craziness of college basketball lately, and I think the times of 2014 Kentucky, 2022 Gonzaga, 2022
Baylor.
Baylor, these years of which these teams just run through everyone and no one touches them, I think are dead. There's too much parity, there's too much skill and money in the NIL world for people to get to pay around to each other and to bring in talent. Now, it works for some and it doesn't for others, but I think Kansas is just, I think right this time, there's at this point where they are having a down year, but you tell me they're in the Final Four in 7 weeks, I'm going to be like, yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Crap.
I mean, they were preseason number one for a reason. They were not mine, but they, you brought a lot back. You have a veteran team. It sounds like, I don't know if you guys saw, a lot of the former Jayhawk players are sending out some pretty aggressive tweets about, one of them, I can't remember what player, may have been Chalmers or someone else, said, basically, I bet the managers care more, just put them in the game. So getting backlash, I think that shows that I hate saying locker room problems, but I mean, what else could it be right now when you have a team not playing well? I mean, for Oklahoma State, they were a pig sent to slaughter on Saturday. Like that was a horrible matchup for them. I don't know. Like Jake said, I mean, it's college basketball. So, I mean, anyone can get hot in the tournament. So, no, it wouldn't surprise me they pulled together with all that talent. But as of right now, I mean, they're definitely on the decline. There's no doubting that. It's interesting to see if they can, that's used the last 4 years, been the class of the Big 12 for 2 decades. It's weird to see this. I'm surprised also, Jake, that's only been 4 years. I would guess 14.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, just rehash that point. I guess I heard my stat on Thursday. First 20 seasons of Bill Self, they never lost more than 6 Big 12 games, and they've lost 7+ now the past 2 years. So that's pretty crazy to me. Yeah, I kind of give it on the team too, and it's just weird they had 2 straight years of this. I agree. Did you guys see the rumors of Bill Self potentially going to Oklahoma State was like a real thing last year?
Yes, he had to address
Hate the job?
Yeah, so he's an Oklahoma State graduate or alumnus, whatever you call it. So apparently because it was open last offseason, there's rumors they apparently actually seriously considered. So yeah, kind of crazy. And I think we can blame Hunter Dickinson for all this too, in my opinion.
Agreed with that with Dickinson, or just call him Dick at this point. Self addressed that and said that he did stay in Stillwater longer than he usually would, but it was to talk about how to be competitive in the Big 12. Was he claimed his conversation was about.
Yes, to not have Hunter Dickinson was like the whole...
And how to get away from Hunter Dick.
Yeah. Hey, Crab, what's your top story then of the college basketball weekend?
So I had 4 that I was thinking of. One, VCU beating George Mason in that showdown to first place right there. VCU kind of ran away with it. I did not see. I was following the score. Gonzaga losing the season series to St. Mary's. Is Gonzaga going to make the tournament? I mean, with it being a soft bubble, probably gets in. But, I mean, they could be a play-in game at this point.
Real quick, the Matrix has them as the last 8 seed right now, so they're still firmly...
Jeez. Okay, well, whatever. The next one was, how good is Duke? Last time they played a team that was ranked at the time they played them was Auburn. And the only teams they've played that are currently ranked are Louisville, who they beat, and Clemson, who they lost to last time they played them.
Wait, what timeout? They played Auburn and Maui, right?
I think
Just
it was
after.
It was at
after?
It was at Cameron Indoor.
And that was
So
the last
after
ranked team they played?
At the moment, the last time they played a team that was ranked at tip-off was the Auburn game.
Right, because Louisville and Clemson are now ranked since then.
That's what I'm saying.
I got you. They were at the time.
Yeah.
He beat Louisville, lost to Clemson. So that was another question. But here's my top story. Breaking news.
Yeah, real quick, Crab. I like it. Rob's not here. You're stepping up with 4 stories.
Yeah. There's new sheriff. baby. Breaking news, Northern Illinois to the Horizon League in non-football sports. The
They
only
have football teams?
exceptions are wrestling and gymnastics are not offered in the Horizon League. So I assume that means they stay in the MAC. And football, they're moving to the Mountain West.
Yeah, so that football news has been
The football news was out
Yeah,
there.
football
for
is
sure.
news. Okay, this is all via Brett McMurphy. Thank you. So that
I was
just
thinking
popped
Northern
out.
Iowa. When you said that out loud, I was like,
North,
what do you
North
mean?
Illinois. So I just
Gotcha.
decided to get creative rather than talk about boring stuff about how good Duke is. Duke, Sweet 16, losing as a 1 seed. There you go. Move on.
Northern Illinois is interesting because the MAC had not had any sort of realignment for like 100 years, but it was a long, long time. And so now they didn't have to do that. I don't know why they're leaving the MAC for the Horizon.
So what happens to Northern Illinois? They're 1-14 in the MAC this year. I mean, and you got Robert Moore somehow running the Horizon League this year. Like, what's going on?
They're 1-14, so look, they're like enough of this.
Please, somebody started 1-0.
We're
I'm
going to
tired
play
of
IUPY every week now. Screw this.
I'm tired of these slug matches with Ball State.
They're going to play who?
Sorry, IUI.
IUND?
now?
We'll get to this, but hopefully they fly and they don't take a bus next time.
Greener pastures. Yeah, there you go. Yep, it's good.
My top story, to me, is kind of the story of college basketball right now, and that is the National Player of the Year race at this moment, which is between Cooper Flagg and Janai Broome. Flagg and Broome, which are two like household objects, kind of. A flag can be in a house, so shout out them on their fun nicknames, I guess.
Capture the flag, per se.
Capture the flag, shoot the broom, Janai Broome. First of all, before I get into that, did you see Auburn? They're calling him Nye now on Twitter, and it's a lot of jokes about it because it starts a certain word that we don't want to say. So shout Auburn, you're good PR on Twitter, going through all of that. So our boy Nye had 31 points, 14 boards as Auburn beat Jake's boy Mike White over the weekend. And as Dusty mentioned, Duke won over the weekend. Flagg had 16-7-5. Jake will get more to that game as that was his game we're going to recap. On the year, Broome is 18-11. That is 11 rebounds, 3.4 assists, 2.5 blocks. Flagg is 19.5 points per game, 7.7 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 block. That's steal and a half per game. This race is very interesting, boys, as can't ever remember this. They're the 1 and 2 teams in the country, and they're each the star player. I really don't know if that's ever happened before. I think that's pretty cool.
It seems like that's how it was supposed to, like in the grand scheme of creating the awards. You would think that's what they would want. But the fact that we've never seen it before becomes wild.
Right, you would think this would happen like once every 6 years or something like that. You said, like, that's like how they expect it to be every year. I thought this was very interesting because I was looking at the odds today. So FanDuel has a way more even. Flagg minus 150 and Broome plus 110. So Flagg's a slight favor there. But I checked Caesars, which I don't know, maybe they're not as locked in college basketball. They have Flagg at a swift minus 500 to win the Warden Award and Broome at plus 160. I find it interesting because if I had a vote today, I think I would vote for Janai Broome just because, like, I just think he's been the most consistent best player for the year. This is a nitpicking portion of the show. I think one of the biggest nitpicks, because again, Flagg and Broome are just better than everyone, so like you have to kind of split hairs here. But I think it's noticeable in Duke's 3 losses that Flagg had the ball at the end of games, a chance to win the game, and he's had a crucial turnover in all 3 basketball games. Again,
that's all 3, right?
Yeah, he slipped to the floor in all 3. Again, that's not some grand look on, but I think if we're talking about National Player of the Year, that stuff should matter. And I get Broome's missed 3 basketball games as it is, but like again, on Saturday, they need Broome to be great to beat Jake's boy Mike White. He had 31 points. So I give it to Broome. So I think I was surprised to see it like Flagg is like the comfortable flip favorite to sites like Caesar. I don't know, you guys have any thoughts on the Wooden Award right now between Flagg and Broome?
One real quick for you. I did pull up. So yeah, the FanDuel ones are still accurate as of this moment. And DraftKings has it Flagg minus 175, Broome plus 135. So it's a little more spread out there too. But then, and you said, but back in January 14th. No, sorry, January 14th. Yeah, January 14th, FanDuel had Cooper Flagg's odds at minus 2,000.
Well, yeah, I was with you. You said that to me.
I was like, this is one of the most absurd things I've ever seen. Minus 2,000. Whoever those people saw that day and then put money on anyone else but him, they're probably getting a nice little cash out offer right now.
Oh, yeah.
But
it's
very interesting.
The time when Broome got hurt, too. I think that may have.
That could have been it.
Overlapped, but still, minus 2,000 is pretty significant. That
is.
Mr. Crab, got any comments on the Wood Award between Flagg and Broome?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is where the media really kicks in. I mean, guys, right now it's probably Cooper Flag. When do they decide that? When's the voting? Is that pre-tournament and then it gets announced Final Four weekend, or?
I believe it is it's for sure decided pre-NCAA tournament.
Yeah, so my guess right now is old Cup Flag has the advantage right now. But I mean, if Auburn keeps winning and Broome can put on a hell of a performance last 4 plus, 3 or 4 games at SEC tournament, he can make it more. The difference, though, is I feel like Auburn's is just seen as a senior-laden team where he has more. He doesn't, though, because Duke's very talented, has more help around him. So there's not as much. I feel like Duke's going to go as far as Flag can go. But as you said, Broome missed a few games this year. They still really held course overall. So if I had to pick it, unfortunately, I'd go for Cooper Flag right now. He's just electric and all the stuff gets covered, so that helps the bias as well, and it's Duke.
Just one more thing. First of all, I looked up Zach Ea's article. They announced it mid-April or early April when he won it, but it looks like voting took place March 18th through 25th. So
That's probably like first weekend of the tournament.
It's the opening weekend.
Yes, opening weekend. And again, just go over stats again. The points are about the same with them. Broome has 3 more rebounds. Flag only has 0.5 more assists, and the blocks are doubled. So I think the stats do lead Broome, but also Flag leads. I believe the team in all 5 categories still too. So that was just pretty.
And Flag's, I just looked. Flag's usage rate is only 1 percentage higher.
Yeah, it's pretty even. All.
It's actually, I thought it was going to be a lot. I thought it was going to be a lot higher for Broome, but it's actually, I'm shocked that Flag's is higher.
Yeah, this has been a pretty good race all year. I can't remember the last one. I'm sure it's an obvious one that I'm forgetting, but this has been a very entertaining race. What'd you call him, Crab? Coop Flag?
Flag.
Coop Flag. That's a great nickname. Alrighty, moving on. So we're going to recap certain games over the weekend, as one does. Jake, you went first last time in the Mills Bowl, so Crab, I'll give you the glory of going first of the games to recap.
So I was back from Magical Epcot in order to be able to watch. No, that was Magic Kingdom night. Arizona BYU was a heck of a game. Played in Arizona. BYU with a big road win. Very, very controversial ending for those that didn't see it. Big win for BYU. Tough loss for Arizona. Arizona makes a run late in the final minute of the game. BYU, what's his name? With the free throws. Help me here. Did not put that in my notes.
What was your question?
Who hit the free throws for BYU?
Was it Saunders?
Saunders, thank you.
Yeah.
Because Saunders has the ball on really like the outside of the block. Makes a move. Does not get touched. I mean, whatsoever. It was actually well-renowned official, Tom Padilla, who's been around the Big 12 for a long time. And he made the call off screen. There was even an official on the baseline, just lets it go. It was a horrendous call. He 6 free throws. BYU wins by 1. Great win for them. I believe they're now ranked in the AP poll. I know they're ranked in my poll. But let's talk about the excitement part about that. So the follow-up of that is Arizona actually handled the team and the head coach handled the loss gracefully. Okay, let's move on. Lost on a bad situation. The Arizona fans, on the other hand, Arizona had to give a apology the next day as the entire student body, as a fight with Caleb Love was breaking out mid-court after the game, or scuffle, let's say scuffle. They were cheating, and this will be my one time without Robbie, but I will be correct. Few the Mormons was the chant. Personally, I don't understand why they wouldn't just make like a virgin chant, which would have been funnier, like the entire game. The ironic part about the chant is Arizona has a walk-on who's actually a Mormon. Addison Arnold registered 21-22 before going on a 2-year mission trip in Argentina and rejoined the team this season. So, and I know only 98% of the BYU student body is Mormon.
Of course.
So, you think the other 2% kind of like that chant, they get bullied on campus? How does Addison respond to this? Was he mad at his own student body? A lot going on. So in the end, fans were amazing and also giant a-holes. But nice win for BYU, stole a victory, but at the same time, yeah, they did steal a victory because they were down 1 when that happened. It's not like it will go on overtime. Big win for them. Arizona's still playing very well right now. Caleb Love has been on fire in the last couple months after a slow start. So that was my game that stood out most to me.
Yeah, I made the joke earlier. Robbie's not on because of Purdue's losing streak. It also might be too because Caleb Love's playing well. Yeah, he played great Saturday, and yeah, I didn't hear anything from all RD, but
Joe face anymore.
Yeah, I guess Love's not in here for Mr. Donahill, but yeah,
Valentine's Day has passed.
Valentine's Day has passed, but crap, you nailed it. Like the last call, the referee's not in the screen. Like it's insane. And Jake too, as Arizona moneyline bettors, that was a tough one. And I think you said what a
And
week
it
for
wasn't
BYU.
50. It
2-0.
wasn't, yeah, and it wasn't a 50-50. I saw it was their first time winning T-shaped runs ranked teams, I think, since '83, something like that. Maybe it's on the road, but it's something since the '80s with ranked teams. If you guys had the stat, correct me if wrong.
It's 82.
But the thing with that call, it's not like someone goes up for a layup and defender jumps straight up and just, is it block? Did he make contact, or is it block charge? Did someone reach on someone? Did someone come in someone's shooting lane? No, it was a ghost foul. It was horrible.
It looked like what your nephew does do in the driveway when he can't get a shot up because you're going to block everything.
Yeah.
Like, and he's just standing above you like this. And so you just have to like throw it up in the air. And then next thing you know, a whistle gets blown.
Right, you stood up in the air and you dive to the ground and then complain for a call. Yeah, it's exactly what it looks like.
Alex says Jake playing his nephews in the driveway. Is this like hitting home? Is that personal?
Well, nephews, actually, it's harder to play the nephews. They're taller than their dad.
Hey, shout out the second reference to our oldest brother. How about that? Yeah. Shout out to him. But yeah, good one for BYU, and Arizona 1-3 in the last 4 now. Get going, Mr. Wildcats. We're rooting for you. All right, that was the last game Saturday night. So, Jake, before we get to you, I'll do the kind of the opening game of the weekend. So I'll go back to Friday night. TGIF, shout out Katy Perry. On Friday night, gosh, I'm having a tough throat day over here. Don't make any jokes at me. On Friday night, Michigan State 75, Michigan 62. Massive win for my Spartans. Again, Robbie not showing up, so I can't glow in his face as he gets a 13-point win on the road. The Wolverines were up 4 at halftime, but Michigan State outscored them 41-24 in the second half. My boy Jay Richardson had 21. Holloman, right? 18 as well. The Wolverines cut the 4 1.5 minutes to go, but Sparty in the game on 13-2 run. The Wolverines, speaking of Wolverines, Wolf, Golden, and Burnett all had 11-plus points, but no one else on the team could muster up more than 5. No bueno for Michigan. Now, for the Big Ten standings, Michigan State's now up half a game in the Big Ten on Michigan. They still play one more time. Sparty's up to 3 seed on the Matrix, and Michigan falls to 4. Great win for Sparty. I keep believing this Michigan State team. They don't do anything particularly sexy, kind of like this podcast or anything. They just find ways to win. First in the Big Ten, and got a big road win over the in-state rivals. Pumping my chest a little bit. I'm actually kind of wearing my Michigan State green on our first video pod. Right, Jake? We're going to post some clips from this pod today, right?
We're going to have some clips from it.
Yep, perfect, because I have a giant cold sore on my lip. Perfect time for...
Sorry, I have a pimple under my lip.
Wow, Jake, you got anything other than your awful...
Jake.
I have no lip.
No facial.
Yeah, nope, feeling good today.
Good.
But yeah, big win for my Spartans. Any comments on his Big Ten Classic, boys?
I feel like a classic Big Ten game, and the Big Ten's getting a lot of fun right now. I was not feeling great about the league really just a month and a half ago. And all of a sudden, Illinois falls just to the cellar right now. Oregon's selling next. Yeah, Oregon's on fire. That huge comeback against Wisconsin. I saw with 6 minutes left, I think it was, Wisconsin had a 96% chance to win.
I think it was even
Wisconsin money line better as well.
Oh, retweet.
Even better.
Parlay killer.
And sneakily, I mean, obviously the Wisconsin lost. And then just sneakily, Maryland's coming out of nowhere.
They're good. They're up like top 15 for me in our polls. They're
Mr. Queen.
And Mr. Queen. And also, I mean, they're at Michigan State this week.
Ooh, Friday? Is that Friday?
I did not see it. I forgot my Michigan State
Maryland's
schedule.
not really a team we've talked about, but they've been on fire recently.
Yes.
And you guys see the name of their starting 5, their nickname for it?
Maryland starting 5.
Technically correct. No, they call them the Crab 5, is what Maryland's been calling it. I love it.
The crab cakes? For me.
By the way, we should explain it. I call you Crab all the time on the show. For people who don't know, that is Dusty's nickname. So sorry if I've ever confused anyone.
You confused Robbie last week?
Yeah, I confused Robbie last week.
You guys can, listeners, you can decide your own reasoning for that nickname. We'll just keep it.
Good point. But yeah, good one for my Spartans and Crab. I assume you still don't believe in Michigan after this loss.
Oh, no. Get them off the top 4 seed line. Get out of here.
Jake,
Dusty, man,
get to your game.
I mean, the only thing I'll say, I saw that The Michigan State had jumped into a 2 in some metrics today on the seed line for March. And then, I will say this, I agree with Crab. And it's as we earlier this year, I had a nice bickering disagreement. I've actually had it with both Michigan and Michigan State fans, where I've gone at some buddies that are fans of them. But have we seen that starts 2 7-footers and one of them handles the ball like Michigan in college basketball? And the reason I ask it is that is the only thing that makes me think, can that help them in March? Can this team actually be like, why the hell are they in the Elite Eight? I don't think they're that good. Oh, wait, forgot. They have north of 20 feet of starters and players on there, or 30 feet of starters and players on their roster. Like, this is absurd. They have 2 guys over 7 foot that are and with Wolf, each handles the ball. He steps back, step back threes, jumpers, pull ups. I don't know. I just think that is, as much as I think they're not legit, I think that can also be something that makes me bite my tongue here in a couple weeks.
It's a good.
Yeah. There's good things out there.
Derogatory towards both Michigan schools. So I like this. This is a nice little zag by you, Jake.
Only for you, Sharp.
All right, Jake, we keep teasing it. There was a game in Madison Square Garden Saturday night, and boy, was it a thriller. Jake, give us the recap.
Do you think the Knicks could have competed better?
Yeah, I don't know. They've been getting their butts kicked too. I'm not sure.
I know.
They cannot beat a good team.
Well, Saturday night, yes, Cooper Flagg and company and the Duke Blue Devils went and played, ironically, a non-conference matchup on February 22nd against Illinois. And for those who maybe have watched Illinois a few times this year, you've been like, okay, they might be good, they might be not. Maybe they played a bad game. No, Illinois is literally underground, bottom of the earth right now, as Cooper Flagg and Duke Blue Devils beat them 110-67, Nick. 110-67. It is so bad. The only highlight I can find is a walk-on where number 55 drilling a step-back 3. And God love him. I love that kid because that would have been me on a Division I roster if I could have done the walk-on route. He is as swaggy. He's 5'5". He looks as swaggy as can be. Comes off a ball screen like he's playing in the state title and boom, bops that thing. And again, that's the only highlight I can find from this game on Twitter. It was that ugly of a basketball game. You have Duke, who came out. They have all 5 starters scoring double figures. That's just impressive to do, especially against anyone, playing a team who, again, most likely was on all pace to be in the tournament this year. And Illinois still might be able to find their way in. Nick, check those matrix. See where they're at. I really have no clue.
The last 7 seed right now.
Oh, wow. So they are still in.
Yeah, they're in. They're probably a lot.
But Cooper Flagg led the way with 16, or no, it's actually not. Isaiah Evans came off the bench and had 17 points. Yeah. Flagg added 16, 7, and 5. Knuppel buried in just 1-3, which was shocking, and 15 points. And then over for Illinois, outside of Trey White, no one else really had a game where they felt and looked confident. And as a team, Illinois shot. You guys want to guess what they shot from 3-pointers?
Well, I know they started off 0 of
7. Yeah.
They finished the game 2 of 26 from 3 at a whopping 8%.
It's never
apparently
3-point percentage looks like a date on the calendar. 24 or 226.
Yeah, 226.
And apparently when they hit their first 3, I think it was the first 3 of the second half to go 1 of 18, all of MSG erupted.
Even the Duke fans, that's even better. Oh, poor guys. But yeah, Duke. If this Duke team with this much talent is going to shoot 56% from the field on a game on a neutral site, watch out, country. They could be adding. They might already book their hotel for San Antonio, because that's impressive. Shoot 56% from the field. They shot 50. Oh, that's for 3 points. 56% from the field, 52% from 3, and 75% from the line is going to win you games here as you get into March.
Yeah, 2 notes. Yeah, you already mentioned 17 from 3 from Illinois start the game, and they refused to quit. If you want to watch it, they were hell bent on chucking some. Wow, I just broke right there on chucking some bricks up there. Trav, I'm gonna ask you this question because again, I hate Duke. We all hate Duke, but you've been the most hesitant to crown them as one of the best teams in the country, I think it's fair to say. So they walloped Jake's Cavaliers on Monday, kick butt last night or 2 nights ago. What are your thoughts on Duke Blue Devils here today, Crab?
They're very good. They're very talented. John Shire's the right person for that job, so they hit a home run with that. So they're good. I mean, they're a great program. They've been a great program, we know, for 4 decades now. They are very, very, very good and talented. But I kind of, in a sense, a little extreme when I say this, but I don't think they're really getting challenged by great teams. The ACC is down. I'm not saying it's the WCC of years past, but that's what they always say was Duke. I mean, Gonzaga's issue is they're playing these, again, I'm not saying the ACC is a West Coast Conference 5 to 10 years ago, but we just said the stat earlier, they've not played a team who's ranked at the time since December. And they're
WCC might be better than the ACC.
seriously.
Honestly.
But they are taking care of business, and they are doing what you should do, and they're beating the hell out of these teams. They also beat an Illinois team who's coming off the team having a sickness where 7 players didn't practice all week. So they are a very good team. Yes, I would say they're one of the top 5 teams in the country. I think I have them third still, maybe behind Florida. I just think Florida's resume is better, and they're playing a harder schedule day in and day out. I mean, it's nice to have that as a team. The mindset is when you know you're playing it for your teams, it's fun to go kick the hell out of them. It's different when just pick up random SEC team from last week where Missouri goes on this long run, and then all of a sudden they have to turn out to play at Arkansas. There's going to be a French tournament team, and no one wants to play them either. I mean, so that's what my only thing with Duke is the schedule does not show their full potential, but they did beat Auburn. It was a home game, but they did beat Auburn. So they're one of the best teams in the country, but I didn't see any reason. I know the AP did. I'm probably the coach as well. I did not see any reason to let them jump Florida, who just has better wins. I believe, Duke has maybe 4 quad 1 wins.
Great question.
So just put it that way. They have
up.
4. They have 4. I believe Kentucky and Auburn both have 8.
I think it's fair. And Jake, I think that's actually, I didn't even think about this till right now. For people who don't know, Jake is a pretty big Florida fan. I know it's funny to have Kentucky fans in his family, Florida fans. It's a hoot, as you can imagine, people. Jake, so yeah, where are you out of Florida? Where do you rate your Gators, and why are they so good? I'll just ask a basic ass question like that. Sorry,
They're
Rob.
good, Nick, because the golden era has begun here in Gainesville, Florida. No, but I think the Gators, honestly, I don't really care if we're ranked 2, 3, or 4. I think they made it clear that after Florida goes into Auburn's home stadium and kicks their ass, that they're not going to put them. They're going to leave Auburn at that one spot. Makes sense. Fine by me. Great resume. It was one game, but for seeding purposes, I'm kind of going to be upset when Duke does get that 2nd or 3rd 1 seed over Florida, which makes no sense to me. And now Florida has to go play on the West Coast for this entire tournament instead of Duke, who is going to have the weakest schedule by anybody, and they're not going to put them on the West Coast for the number 1 West team. So that's the only place where I think it matters is, one, being able to get to go see my Gators in March. But I also understand that, when's the last time we had someone like Cooper Flagg at Duke, and they're going to put that brand where it's easy for their fans to watch and pay the tickets. But I do think we are the 2nd best team in the country. If not the first, neck and neck with Auburn. Florida is good because they have so many ways they can beat you. They will defend you up and down the court nonstop, and they will prevent you from running your stuff, make things hard, make things contest. At the same time, they have these 3 guards who are like a 3-headed monster who one of them can go for 30 on you any night. Walter Clayton might not cross half court before he shoots it. And, Elijah Martin, who's been to a Final Four with FAU and transferred in, and Will Richard, who is just a little like pest who, I don't need to score tonight. Cool. I'll go to these other things. But at the same time, you've had these 2, my favorite, my White Towers have come out, Nick. Have Alex Condon, who's back tomorrow against Georgia, as well as Tommy Howe. Howe. I mean, people pronounce it different ways. But Tommy boy has been absolutely unreal, and I did not expect this from these guys. These guys have been solid 10 to 15 points a game, shooting over 50% from the field, and constantly finding ways to make things happen offensively and defensively. Hello, Milo.
Oh,
I have a take.
Hello. That's the Milo voice you do for Dusty's dog. Hello, Milo. Hello.
Sorry, Jake. Continue, Jake.
No, but I was saying, this Florida team is so much fun to watch, Nick, but the thing I've really enjoyed most is they can go beat you 190. They can also beat you 65 to 60, and they can also hold you under 50 points if they really want to. They are such a three-level team when it comes to offense, defense, and committing to stopping stars that I have not seen, especially on a Florida team, in a long time. Even and Dusty may challenge me on this, but even those 607 teams, they would go out and beat you, but they weren't going to beat you in three different ways. It didn't matter what kind of place and style it was. They were just going to win their way, and you couldn't stop that. However, Florida will adapt and win in different styles, and that's what makes them so dangerous, especially with this such a heavy SEC and huge in conference where, fellas, we have 2 weeks until we're in March. We're in Nashville, and we get to watch 15 games.
2 weeks from Wednesday.
Yeah, we get to watch 15 games of the best conference maybe in the history of the damn sport. And again, this Florida team has blown me away by their ability to adapt game to game and find different ways to win, which I think will fix them well into March.
Yeah, and you mentioned a win at Auburn. They didn't have Elijah Mark for that game, which is pretty crazy. And they have dealt with a little injuries. Who's my boy? Is it the European dude who comes off the bench? You didn't mention his name at all. What's his name?
Little white dude?
Yeah, it's
he's a Slovenian or Serbian. It's whatever it is.
Urban or like Klavinar, that guy, whoever he is. Number 7
right here.
Number 7 on Florida. Shout to him at all. Just kind of just adds to your point.
Klavzar.
Yeah, he's very.
He just lets that thing fly. There was a stretch, Nick, between Auburn and the next 2 games where he was 8 of 10 from 3 in those 3 games, and he only played like 10 minutes.
I love him. Crab, any thoughts on Florida before we move on?
Unreal guard play. That's what I've said from the beginning with them. They're scary. That's how you win in March. They are a scary team. They catch fire. It's very hard to beat that team. And that's part of the reason I'm stunned that Kentucky beat them in route, because they were on fire that game. So that was an anomaly victory.
Yeah, that's a good point, Crab. Who cares about Duke and Florida? I mean, some team has already beaten both.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, they probably haven't lost to Arkansas at home or anything.
Have you played Auburn?
This Saturday.
Speaking of that, a chance you guys could beat 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, with losses to like Texas and Georgia and Arkansas. That good stuff.
Ohio State, who's fading again.
State, kitty cats. All right, I'll just touch on games we missed over the weekend. Real quick, Friday night, Villanova beat Marquette 81-66. I only bring that up because did I see Villanova was 12 of 15 from 3 in the first half? So Kyle Neptune's demand, give him one more year. Not being serious. Rip through other ones. Tennessee beat A&M 77-69. Chaz Lanier was on fire in that game. He had 6 threes the first half. Good one for Tennessee. No bueno for your boy. Wisconsin, Crab hinted at earlier, blew it against Oregon. I think he said they're up like 16 with 6 to play. They scored 2 points. Their Mona Lisa of the game is when they were up 3 with 10 seconds. Jake, did you see as they inbound the ball?
Oh, yeah.
They threw up the dude's knee right out of bounds. And Oregon got the ball and hit the game time 3.
Get to the nail hole.
And Jake, that was even after Biddle missed the layup too. It was hysterical. 3 SEC teams got massive wins who are on the bubble. Oklahoma, Vanderbilt, and Arkansas. Woo Pig Suey all got massive wins over tournament teams. The Matrix has them all 3 in right now.
Oklahoma's going to get in.
They're 4-10 in the SEC.
So who's not making the turn from the SEC?
South Carolina and LSU.
Georgia's the first team out right now, so they're like the one team. Yeah,
and they play Florida at home tomorrow. It's still covered.
Speaking of tough ones, Kentucky was out. Lamont Butler and Jackson Robinson still lost 96-83. Talk about blowing a cover and the over, Jake. Not good for everyone involved.
I had a rough Saturday.
You and me both. And shout out Nate Hahn, listener of the show. Crab, any quick thought? Anything that's taken away from this game for Kentucky?
I didn't get to see it a bit. Nick was texting updates, thankfully, and I was following on my phone as much as I could. Obviously, the injuries, it sounds like Lamont Butler was practicing last week, so that's a good sign. And that Jackson Robinson is doing, quote, skill work right now. So it's not good to just stay on the sideline, so that's promising. I think Pope is just focused on, well, this team is at full capacity. I mean, they've proven they can beat anyone in the country. So at Alabama, Bama's on that 2-game skid. You know, one of those where you just feel like they're going to end the skid at some point. You're down. It's not like Kentucky's in foul trouble most of the game. Offensive rebounds, give up 7 in the first half. Thankfully, they'll give 1 in the second half, so maybe that's a good thing going forward. But free throw shooting is horrendous. They were 4 of 9 to start the game. And then the other stat I saw with turnovers was pretty close to even. I think it was 13 to 12 or 12 to 11. Points off turnovers, Alabama scored Kentucky by 13. So there's your deficit, 13 points in the game. So I would say that means probably transition defense didn't look great.
Yeah, not much to add. Only thing else I'd add is always he had the streak of scoring double digits in every single game.
1 of 9 shooting, right?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
1 of 9 shooting, I believe.
Yeah, so no Lamont Jackson. Yeah.
So his layup with 3 minutes left or whatever that was, didn't he have a layup?
He had a jumper in the first half. Yeah, so again, you're getting 2 points from Lamont Jackson away at Alabama. You have 0 chance to win the basketball game. Amari Williams is awesome. Andrew Carr played awesome, but Kentucky, please win at Oklahoma on Wednesday. That's all I ask.
Yeah, that could be a season-changing game.
Yeah, subplot.
In a bad way.
Subplot for listeners at Pod. So like we mentioned earlier, we go SEC tournament every year. We're praying Kentucky's not the 9th seed. Because they're currently the 8th seed right now. If they're a 9th seed, they have to play the first game Wednesday, and boy, will that affect our travel plans. So
our travel plans must be
noon on Wednesday. We don't even leave till Wednesday night normally.
As Dusty put it, we might be responsibly drunk at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday if Kentucky's playing. And by the way, it's quite the marathon, so we have to start drinking Wednesday morning. Oh boy.
The Magnolia State teams losing Saturday helps that situation. They may go in the Alabama game, sadly. In terms of SEC standings, it didn't mean much in terms of following, but I think they will jump to 7, I believe, but they would have beaten Bama. So back onto it at Oklahoma Wednesday, Auburn at home on Saturday, which I will be in attendance. I'll be there. I'm invited to another Kentucky alumni basketball event, so I will be there Saturday and wait for the final place.
Your first game since, Richmond in 2021?
Well, technically, would that be 20? It was 2021. But
so the 2021 season.
But did you guys lose that game?
Oh, yeah.
Well, lost Richmond at home. There was barely anyone in the crowd because of COVID. I had indulged the night before and wasn't feeling great. But our father made me drive both ways to Lexington back. And I was very parched, let's just say, hungover, drank responsibly, kids. And the concession stands were closed. So the only way I could get water is I had to go find a bathroom in Rupp and just open the hand sink.
I would have swirled myself.
And then, as Nick said, Richmond won at Kentucky.
Hey,
last time I was at a game. I've been to Rupp since, but the first time I was at a game.
You mentioned that article. Former Kentucky walk-on gives himself a swirly during halftime of home game versus Richmond.
Article I've ever heard of one. So, yeah, brings victory crowd, and Bama good win. Steers at 30+. He is a giant flopper, though. That's all I'll say about that. Other mid-major results. Dusty mentioned VCU got the big win over George Mason. Did you guys see this? Undefeated in the MAC. Akron got smoked at Ohio, 84-67. Obliterated. Hell of a performance for the Bobcats. Couple more real quick. Florida got the win over LSU. That was a weird game. They were up, and then LSU had a 22-2 run, and then Florida came back and won. So good win, Jake. That was a weird one.
Yeah, it was when you're down, you're feeling good, and next day you turn over, you're down 8, and then by the time I was able to get from point A to point B on my travel on Saturday, we went from down 8 to up 15 in like a 7-minute time strain. And I was just like, oh, okay, here we go. And we never looked back.
Sunday real quick, St. John's beat UConn 89-75. Ricky P just keeps on going. He's the man. St. John's is very good. And me and Jake already mentioned it. We were at Assembly Hall to watch the second half performance of Lifetime by IU. I mentioned it. Or I guess I should say score. They won 73-58. They started second half on a 28-3 run. Purdue's lost 4 in a row, and IU's tournament hopes are still alive. Speaking of tournament in the Big Ten by the way, the Big Ten tournament bubble is really heating up. I'm kind of intrigued to follow this for the next couple of weeks. So shout that. Anything I missed?
Since we started the pod, Utah has fired Craig Smith as the head coach.
Did he not come from? Was he the guy that came from Washington State last year?
This is his 4th year.
Oh no, he went to Stanford. That's my fault.
Yeah, Doug said the Washington State guy's at Stanford. Yep.
He was at Utah State, started coaching at Utah in 2021. Got fired after missing the tournament his first 3 years.
That's a tough 2 weeks for him. He goes from beating Kansas to feeling on top of the world too. Go ahead and get on LinkedIn and apply for jobs, buddy.
That's where Kansas basketball is at. The fact they just lost at Utah and their coach got fired 8 days later. That's literally where they're at. Shout out Kyle Williams, so the football coach there, so he's lost another one. All right, we're all good then, boys. Robbie?
News for you guys. I know Nick, you might already know this. Dusty, if you like today's format, our layout and the clips and kind of stuff like this, I will be bringing a lot of this technology to Nashville so we can perform some maybe either live boots on the grounds or some reaction pods from you guys and Robbie, even remotely for the SEC tournament. So hopefully everybody likes what they see and this goes well, and we can keep that rolling into Nashville.
Probably some fun guests on that trip as well.
Yeah.
Some very fun guests.
We have a couple former Kentucky players that will be in attendance as well, so maybe we get some good.
Can we do do you think we could do we maybe have to sell this one as a pay-per-view type of idea? Can we get you guys a couple drinks enough that you guys call Billy Clyde?
I have to check about the legal situation of that.
Shout out Billy Clyde.
Check a legal team. We'll be back with that.
Yeah, we'll check our legal team, like Jake said. Shout out Tarleton State. No idea if they're good or bad. That's where Billy Clyde's at. All right, I'll go to the bubble watch real quick for you boys. I'll be quick with this, but hey, boys, I'm going to give you a little homework assignment. I'm going to read the last teams in, the first team's out. Just give me a team you think will fall out, and a team that'll go in. How about that? Simple enough? Okay. Does everyone hear me? Yeah, there you go. Okay. All right. According to the bracket matrix, as of yesterday, February 23rd, the last 5 teams in order: Ohio State, who had quite the week as they lost at home to Northwestern on Thursday by 84. Vandy's the 4th to last team in. Jake's Oklahoma Sooners are the 3rd to last team in. Wake Forest, the Bubble Boys, 2nd to last team in right now. And the Arkansas Razorbacks are the last team in going into yesterday. Calipari might just get in the tournament after all. The first 6 teams out real quick. Jake's boy Mike White once again. Georgia, first team out. SMU, boy, they just keep falling. They're the 2nd team out. The Tar Heels, working, 3rd team out. Boise State, the 4th team out. They're just kind of just been there all year. Sean Miller and the Musketeers got the big win over the Seton Hall Pirates, who are 7-20 on the year. Shout out Dan Hurley. And the 6th team out still is everyone's Indiana Hoosiers. Just lurking. Don't let them get hot. So I'll start getting the first 5. If you guys had to pick one between Ohio State, Vandy, Oklahoma, Wake Forest, Arkansas, who do you think will fall out of the NCAA tournament?
Dusty,
Go ahead, Jake.
Okay. Okay. I was going to say Wake Forest for me. I think Wake is going to drop. I was looking at their remaining schedule, but they have some teams that you're like, okay, if you're trying to get in, you could probably get 3 wins there, but then it's Wake Forest in the ACC, so I think they're going to drop out.
They love missing tournament by a hair every year, so that's probably a good call. Dusty?
The Seth Greenberg University now. I'll say Oklahoma. You talk about only getting 4 SEC wins, unless they beat Kentucky on Wednesday. Let's say they would put 5 wins. If they go 5-13 in conference play, like, I don't care how good the SEC is. Get the hell out of here.
Wake's 11-5 in the ACC. Like that, there's the difference in, if you want to do conference comparisons right there.
So I'm going to say Oklahoma's my prediction, although Ohio State I don't have much faith in right now. Going in, I'm going to say Boise State had a big win against New Mexico last week. So maybe they're rising high. It was at Boise State, and so they played close to the blue turf. But you know, for Joe Steele, I'm going to say the Hoosiers turned a corner yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm going to say
Who's your daddy?
It was their first home win since early January, which is crazy.
God.
I'm going to say the Hoosiers got 3 win down the stretch, get 1 in the Big Ten tournament, and squeak into the playing games.
I did not realize that was their first home win since early January.
I'll confirm that. That's what I heard on TV.
I'm confirming.
I'll audit that.
Real quick for me, team I think I'll miss. I want to say Ohio State, but I think they probably have too many good wins that they'll stay in. I was thinking Oklahoma as well, Crab as well. I was thinking.
January 8th, they beat USC at home. That was the last time they won at home.
So, Assembly Hall, one of the best home advantages in all of the nation. There you go. Jake, of those teams that are currently out right now, of Georgia, SMU, North Carolina, Boise State, Xavier, Indiana, think any of them can squeak in, Jickaroo?
I can't believe I'm saying this too. I think IU actually can. I don't know how. I don't think they should, but the team I watched the second half yesterday had a energy, a fight, they cared about what was across their chest. And I don't know the last time, name your coach, the last time I saw a Hoosier program play that way. Hell, Jordy Holes was probably uniform, I think, the last time I saw someone. It's been, and Purdue just looked, I mean, hell, can Purdue drop out? Can we go ahead and take bold takes that way? Because they didn't just look bad, they looked scared. But we'll digress for Purdue, for Robbie, for a different day. However, my other team I really, really, really want to get on that list is I want Boise State, and I really hope I watch them play in Dayton. That team is fun to watch because they do everything the same as one. And when I say that is they will score 92 points, and they will all be on fire, and 4 guys will score 20 plus or they will try and win or most likely lose, scoring 52 points where no one can shoot above 30%. They are systematically equal as a roster across the board, and it is very entertaining. And, got to support my other fellow blue and orange universities.
Jake's not on the pod all the time, but shout out to him. No one, as someone who lives with Jake, no one watches more random college basketball games than Jake Mills. I can assure you.
I have the WCC app on my TV.
I can confirm that. Jake, you mentioned Boise State and Dayton. I think I've referenced this before. They've made the tournament 5 times since 2013. 3 of the 5 they have played in Dayton. It is a great tradition. And it's so funny because
they call it Boise, Ohio for a reason.
One year they actually had to play Dayton for the first 4. They had no chance of that game.
Shouldn't be allowed. Dayton should not be able to get a playing game in their own stadium.
Especially a team that's from Idaho, who's obviously not going to be able to compete with the fans.
Well, they're about to play the Big East tournament in Madison, right?
I mean the Big Ten.
No, the Big East tournament they're about to play in Madison Square Garden, home of the St. John's Johnnies. So Rick's going to play his own conference tournament in his own gym.
Never thought about that. By the way, that's my fault. We said Madison. I was thinking Madison, Wisconsin, like an idiot.
Oh no, Madison Square.
A Big Ten joke.
But,
the Garden. Yeah, that's we're talking about. Boise State. Yeah. For me, I think somehow North Carolina's going to squeak in, and we're all just like, this really happens. And as someone who has a couple of North Carolina fans in their life, I'm not sure they're too thrilled about it either. So
you think they'd rather miss, right? That way Hubert gets,
I think,
a little warmer.
If my boy Mario speaks for the fan base, that's what I think they would all be at, because I think that's how he feels. All right, that's the bubble look-in. So we're still going to do this now, Robbie, I guess. We're going to do our locks of the week.
I don't have the buttons he has.
All right, I think, we should discuss this off the pod. I'm kind of glad we didn't, but should we have Jake pick for Robbie?
Yeah, I got a lock. Papa's picks has been rolling this year, Nick.
Recap last week for everyone. Robbie went 1-1, I think. It appears he had Illinois and the over in the Illinois-Wisconsin game. The over hit. Illinois did not. Robbie's 10-7 on the season. I'm not doing overalls. I'm putting my foot down. It's substitute teacher week, Crab. We're doing it how we want this week.
Our way.
Our way to the highway, buckos.
Bring out the movie.
Bring out the TV and movie because we're too hungover for the night before. Shout out. Your boy lost his 6th straight lock of the week. Nick Mills, Georgia Tech did not cover. Nathan George had 9 points, was 3 of 13 from the field. 8-7 on the season still, over 500. Crab, we referenced it. Virginia, let me double check. I don't think they covered. You want to double check that?
They did not cover.
I can confirm
that. And they looked horrible.
They did not at all. Crab is still 1-8 on the season. So, hey, the 3 boys are all over 500.
Yeah. Kyle Guy, whip your boys into shape. That was a pathetic showing.
No, nothing there.
Oh, I thought Jake was.
That's what I thought. I thought we were going to get some. Yeah, Jake, that's your boy. What's the defense here? Nothing? Plead the fifth?
We did not talk about the Duke game when we spoke.
Smart.
It was one of the first times this year we have not referenced the recent game.
I'll have done the same thing. All right. Who else? Is anyone excited to give a lock? Who wants to go first? Anyone chomp at the bits?
I'll chomp at it. So I'm going to our favorite conference, the Mountain West. I want to bring to everyone's attention, first off, that on Saturday night, Air Force and Fresno walked into that game with a combined conference record of, 1-29 at the time, 1-30 at the time. The game went into overtime, which is amazing. And Air Force beat Fresno for their first conference win, So at the center of the Mountain West, Air Force, who I crapped on last week from way below Fresno. Air Force is now 1-15, Fresno State's 1-16. But an overtime showdown. Good win from the Falcons. With that said, let's return to Air Force. They host Colorado State tomorrow night at home. I don't care what the frickin' spread is. Colorado State, the Rams are going to hammer them. I'm going to guess it's in the 15, 16 range. The Colorado State, whatever spread DraftKings gives us tomorrow.
Rabbit home, Crab. You mentioned this segment's the lock of the week, and you referenced Fresno State. That's kind of ironic. Did you see? I know me and Jake talked about. Did you see that news, Crab?
Maybe not.
Oh, they're players. They might program like a death penalty here as this thing keeps unfolding. They have two players that were betting their own teammates over under rebounds and points, and caught doing it for mass amounts of money.
Were they rooting for them, or betting for them at least?
They're betting their own unders.
Damn. Yeah, that's
yeah. This is not going to get good.
All alleged. Still, I guess we should say it right. Nothing's confirmed. I don't know why I'm saying like we're gonna get sued by.
But I don't know. If you go back, I mean, Wes and I played ball together. If I saw Wes's rebounds at 4.5, I would have taken the under.
That'd be great. Jake got a betting scandal at Marion. That'd be fantastic.
It's kind of like the rumor that Jordan had to leave the NBA because of gambling. That's actually why Jake quit at Marion. They're like, we need you away from the program.
Yeah, by the way, people don't know.
We're getting a spotlight.
Jake played 2 years at Marion basketball, by the way, for people that knows. We have another college basketball player on the pod, and the youngest brother to me.
Be the and. That I don't really count towards D1. I did play against a couple Division I schools. Scored my first points in a Division I stadium.
What's that
which
little
is fun.
sign? That's the and symbol. Does anyone know what that's called? Yeah, Jake's the ampersand on the show. So
I'm in. I'll take that.
That's what he is. Papa, what's your picks?
My pick is easy for Robbie and I. I don't even care if he thinks he agrees with this or not. It is the right play because it is hard to go into the pit. But when they're away from the pit, New Mexico cannot cover. It is San Diego State -2.5 Tuesday night. Take out a second mortgage, sell your wife's car, and throw it on the Aztecs.
Well, as someone who has a girlfriend for a long time, Jake, like you do, have we sold the car yet? Have you put your money where your mouth is?
The problem is she drives that damn Bronco all the time, so I can't get the title on it.
She's like,
but your car, Nick, sits out there a lot.
That's a good point. And you have stolen it from me, technically. I have.
Yes, I have. Nick has walked outside. His car's just gone.
I was just keep assuming it's you till one day it actually gets stolen. I like the pick though, Jake. San Diego State, pretty good. Mine's simple. I'm sorry, IU fans. I don't think you're gonna lose the game, but Penn State, give me the lock. It is such a Mike Woodson letdown spot after the good win Sunday. Kind of a quick-ish turnaround too, so I think IU will still win, but I'll take my chances with Mike Rhodes and Penn State. All right, that's locks of the week. Gamble responsibly or don't. It's a free country. Do your thing.
We're dusting up. Oh, there he is.
Hi, Disney. Who's your underdog pick of the week? Jake, you better get her in some of these video clips.
Yeah. Is she gator chopping for me?
Oh, it's so cute. Alrighty. Disney is not funny, but it is time for the funnies of the week. There's usually music over this, so it's gonna be quite the different scene. This is like Curb Your Enthusiasm. There's no laugh track here, boys. This is real comedy right here. That's Disney's covered her paws over her ears. All right, boys. There's a theme in college basketball this week, and that is coaches with funny either quotes or faces. We'll start off. Kim Mulkey. Did you guys see this Sunday? Her face after
my gosh, the cutaway.
The cutaway, for anyone who didn't see it, LSU's playing Kentucky women's. Kentucky hits a jump shot. Shot my girl Georgia Amore. They did lose, but whatever. And the camera just zooms in to Kim Mulkey's face, and it was so good. Highly recommend. We watch women's ball in this show too. You know, we're an exclusive pod. Shout out, so shout out Kim Mulkey.
Well, can we get a shout out to Nick? You know, I discussed this yesterday to them doing college game day for women on Sundays. I love that.
They do.
I agree.
Absolutely great.
They don't try to like rotate who gets Saturday. Yeah, they each get their own time frames, and I like it. It's great. So shout out to them. Funny coaches. Mick Cronin, he blamed the fans for their poor shooting performance against Minnesota on Tuesday night. He said, quote, "Our crowd's mind is worried about the wrong stuff, and they make it worse." Close quote. Shout out Mickey C for blaming their struggles on the fans. While Dennis Gates told the fans not to storm the court after big win versus Alabama. He got on the mic with 1 second to go left in the game, and he said, quote, I guess not quote, he basically was telling fans not to rush the court, and he ended it because, quote, we need that money to go to NIL. Close quote. That is the most NIL era thing. We're begging fans not to storm the courts. You guys pro or anti this?
The message or storming the court?
Yeah, that's how.
Oh, we told. I mean, I guess yeah. I guess does anyone anti-storm the court? I guess I don't. I see
Storm
the
the court.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel.
Your college kids go have fun.
Yeah. But what about Dennis Gates hopping on the mic though, like he's Chappelle?
I love that he did 1 second left. So clearly his head was in the right
Did
place.
he burn a timeout with 1 second left?
Yes, I don't know. I should have looked into that.
I look at it as like, I mean, Vandy. Look at Vandy, who carried the goalpost 3.1 miles down to the Tennessee River after beating Tennessee in football, or Alabama in football. They had Disney needs to go to the dentist. And you know what? They had to pay for all that stuff, but you do it. My thing is if you don't want your team to court, they don't want to court storm. I get why Gates does it. However, can we not take this money from NIL? Can the university be responsible to pay for something?
Yeah, I wonder too. Like, was that just kind of his pitch? Is it really coming from NIL?
I bet that's what that AD office says. It says you again. They're punishing the basketball program and the players for their students celebrating and for coming to the game, because you want them to come to the game. You want them to be a sold out crowd, but then you don't let them have fun. So I don't know. It's just it's a lose-lose. Let them storm. Why do we have fines? As long as no one gets hurt, why do we have fines for storming the court?
Yeah, Jake, you said it all along. You can storm courts, you can storm capitals, just have fun. Whatever you gotta do. Yeah. Your thing. Moving on. This is
You'll get out of trouble anyway, so okay.
This almost won Funny of the Week, but me and Jacob, a special one's gonna win it. Rick Pitino's talking about his star player, Kadari Richmond. He said, and I quote, Kadari Richmond's more injured than any other player he's ever had. Kevin Ware has Kevin Ware. He's crying. Look at his phone saying, damn.
They put the Lion King off the edge of the bone sticking out of his body at one point.
So shout out, Rick. That cracked me up so much.
Oh my God.
One more, and then I'll get to the funny of the week. This is probably only funny to me. Xavier Butler, with 11:52 to go, I've never seen this identical box score. They had the
saw this.
Their field goal, this was all the same. Field goal, 3-point percentage, 3-point shooting, 3-point percentage, free throw line, rebounding, offensive rebounds and defensive rebounds were all exactly the same.
That is wild.
That is just one, and the score is tied too. That just seems impossible to me. So I might post out just so everyone can see the box score. But
Another simulation.
we live in a simulation, Jake. But this actually shows we're living in a simulation. The winner here, Jake. Jake, you told me this at the IU game yesterday, and I did not believe you. Yesterday, a person at the Bucknell basketball game hit a half-court shot to win
$10,000.
The man who hit that half-court shot was former AL MVP Alex Rodriguez. Nailed the half-court shot for a Bucknell basketball game.
1, why is he at a Bucknell basketball game? 2, why'd they pick him to shoot it? And 3, please tell me he kept the 10K. Oh my gosh.
The fact, I mean, this is what makes college basketball great. The fact Alex Rodriguez can shoot a half-court shot at a Bucknell basketball game is what makes it the best. It's just so good. Crab, did you see that story?
I watched the video this morning.
I'm looking up right now. Apparently, it's for a certain college student, so it goes to a kid.
Yeah, he was on the floor. He was celebrating with him.
Gotcha.
Also, I love Sports Illustrated said A-Rod swishes half-court shot. He literally banks it in.
I was going to say, I thought he banked it, didn't he?
And literally, Sports Illustrated, A-Rod swishes Alex Rodriguez.
Bonus funny of the week, the whole Steve Smith saga was so good. I'm not going to get into details for Robbie, but shout out Yeti Coolers for getting involved. If you know, you know. Just Twitter search Steve Smith. You can learn all about that. So that's the funnies of the week. Thanks for everyone listening to that. But before we get out of here, Crab, what's Robbie always say? We get around the campfire.
We're around the campfire, bring some s'mores and some beers. Mm-hmm. That's what Robbie always said.
Bong rips, to each their own. It's legal in certain states.
Hey, by the way, speaking of which, I've been thrown under the bus a few times on this show. I'll be driving down 465 and I hear bong rips. Someone find Jake. You want me to grab it?
Dusty, go ahead, buddy.
So my story came to mind with game day being in Houston. I played at Houston. I've told this story about getting into the game as my one time appearing on ESPN. I'm actually the picture of our show, me dribbling, that was in the game against Houston. That part of the story is fantastic. I've told it on the story before. I'm sure we'll revisit it sometime in the future. But I would go back to really a funny as well of our experience at Houston. So this is 2008. 2007, December of 2007. We go to play at Houston, who was ranked at the time. We were not. They have renovated that university and the arena, thanks to, what's his name? Tella, who owns the Rockets, and kind of reinvigorating that city right now. And so the place was a dump, absolute dump. We were even told we had to have a buddy system when we were there. Coaches were like, make sure you have a teammate with you. The locker room we had was probably the size of a small, bad high school locker room. And there's
bigger than your office you're in right now?
Yeah, bigger than this, but I mean the size of a normal kitchen, I would guess, normal size kitchen. And there was like old weights just sitting everywhere. Most of the lockers weren't locked, but they just wouldn't open. And like the old school lockers that you'd see back there. So it was just an absolute crap hole. But the funny part that happened during that game is during the national anthem, we generally did not stand out on the court during the national anthem. We're usually in the locker room at Rupp. On road games, we would usually actually, then I don't know what it is. I usually defer to what the home team does. So our prior away games or neutral games, we would also be in the locker room. So it's our first time standing out during the national anthem. It's a packed house. That was also the night they were honoring Five Slay Jam I've mentioned before. So we're standing on the volleyball line, because yes, the court was that much of just crap. It was a nice college court, but did have the volleyball lines and some other weird lines. And we're standing there, and about 10 seconds into the anthem, Harry Stevenson, who hopefully will be on the show soon, we all kind of look around. We realize that the entire stadium's looking at us. And the reason is because the American flag was behind us. And so Perry Steven kind of whispers, does anyone see the flag? And everyone just kind of starts moving their heads. And I can't remember who it was, but someone said the S word, I'll say crap, said, crap, I'm pretty sure it's behind us. So as a team, it was not in unison at all, because you can't all hear each other, right? There's 14 of us, 15 of us.
Good Lord.
But on the count of 3, we all try to turn around at the same time in the middle of the anthem. And then we went on to lose the game just to add insult to injury.
The world of social media, that thing would never disappear. That video would be gold today.
Yeah.
And it's just lost in some ESPN storage closet film.
Well, what's great about that too is like you talk about how it'd be used on social media, like that. Also, crap, you remember? I don't know why I said it like that, but that's Kentucky struggled that year. It was a very up and down year. It would mean that to death. Like looking at Kentucky basketball season right now.
I see. Like this puts into perspective Kentucky's basketball season.
No wonder they can't win. They can't even know where to stand for the anthem.
We know where to stand. We just didn't look the right way. Well, maybe we're the
Is turning your back on the flag worse than kneeling?
Well, I was going to say, maybe we were the original protesters.
Wow, Kaepernick's.
Yeah, Kaepernick.
It's like when you turn around during starting lineups and everybody, like the student section turns.
Disrespectful. So there's
Kaepernick should have done a newspaper saying in front of like student sections too.
That would be great.
Oh, sorry, Rob, we're getting political in this one. Oh, crap, you did miss one part of the story. Like, we missed for you grew up a Houston Rockets fan. You got to, like, play in front of...
Yeah, I mentioned when you walked away that Five Slay Jam just did get celebrated that night. Keem was not there, unfortunately. Clyde Drexler was. Tracy McGrady was in attendance. Keith Bogans and Chuck Hayes were in attendance as Rockets players. Guy Lewis was there, the head coach of Five Slay Jam. So it was a very cool night, and like I said, I got to actually play in the last minute and a half and record my second career assist, record 2 fouls, because no one else was smart enough to foul in the last minute, and also took my 1 career field goal attempt, which got blocked out of bounds.
Didn't it block off the side of the backboard?
It did nip the side of the backboard and went out of bounds.
That was the night that I remember begging Mom to let me stay up past my bedtime to watch, and finally Dad comes in the kitchen or whatever and says, we're going to go watch it in the family room.
I remember that.
And I was pumped. It was the 9 o'clock ESPN2 game, right?
I assume I just remember it being late.
I think it was a 9 o'clock ESPN2 game, but maybe 10, but I don't know. But I just remember being, 5th grade for that?
Yeah, 5th grade. It's crazy how long ago that was. Great stories, as always, Crab. Great show, boys, I would say. See, Substitute Teacher Week start off well without Robbie. Enjoy the Mecca. And, I got you, Crab, don't worry. And before we go, though, we have some shout outs to give out. So, Jake, I'll give it to you first. Anyone, anything, any place you want to shout out?
Shout out to Hooters.
Yes.
Hooters.
I am Chapter 11. You know what? If we get enough sponsors to this show and to everything else that's going on, we'll buy Hooters. Screw the bankruptcy. But no, shout out to Hooters.
Well, they're building one of the villages right now, so it's up to the old people to keep them alive.
Interesting. Are they still building that with the and filing Chapter 11?
I would assume if it's already been announced, yeah. I mean, filing for Chapter 11 is just basically
Getting rid of all your debt legally.
Yeah, it's in layman's terms is refinancing your debt, but there's gonna be a lot of issues to go with it. We're not gonna do an accounting show right now.
Real quick, I say we joke about Hooters a lot. It's not because we actually go to Hooters all the time because we love the food. That's a fact. That's not us being like.
Well, we stopped going to the one in Castleton and they literally closed.
One of my biggest pet peeves is always when I tell people I love Hooters, they're like, "Well, I bet it's for the wings." I'm like, "Yes, actually, is. I love their wings." Like, shut the hell up. Oh, it's seriously like prayers for him. That is serious stuff.
Yeah, blood clots are really scary. So I guess good thing they caught it. I know Brandon Ingram has something similar, and he came back pretty quick.
Oh, I forgot about Ingram had that.
Yeah, so hopefully it's just something like that.
And a major issue of blood clots too is altitude. So flying really affects those. So when you're playing, we have a career that forces you to travel all the time. That's not a good thing to add to it.
And when he just stands in the air, he's near
touche.
high altitudes.
That's what basically led to Chris Bosh's retirement. But yes, Jake, he is essentially always in the air.
Crab, shout out before we go.
Larry Brumbaugh. This is in honor of our fallen soldier, Robbie, as he travels the Atlantic, heading to Mecca. For the record, Robbie's a very devout Christian. Sorry if that's an offensive joke to anyone. Larry Brumbaugh, in 1950, I can only assume that's what the stadium was named after. The athletic director gave the go to finally had an in-person mascot. So the first Purdue Pete was Larry Brumbaugh. Larry had to go to Union City, Indiana, where a woman named Mrs. John Keltner helped create the costume or uniform, donate it to the athletic department, and the mallet, and a head made of paper mache backed by chicken wire. Brumbaugh said it didn't fit very well. She just kind of followed along with the cheerleaders, but he didn't do much moving around. After he graduated, John Note took over for Pete, and Pete recalls in similar fashion, just kind of out there freelancing. So, first ever Purdue Pete, Larry Brumbaugh, and he had to go find the costume on his own, and so thank you to Mrs. John Keltner.
You said Union City, right?
Yeah.
Union City, Nick, do you remember the giant bears I won in Cedar Point in high school?
Oh, yeah.
Union City is where we had to go pick up the second one because it didn't fit in any of the vehicles that we had to bring it home. So the hotel shipped it to Union City, and we came and got it from Union City.
The Union City where Jake's bear was delivered and the first Purdue Pete was created.
The heads and that size of that bear are probably the same.
I looked up the first Purdue Pete while you're talking, Crab, and holy moly, this thing was.
Yeah, so when it was created, Pete's demeanor has changed originally as a contented grin created by Larry himself to now a version with a mouth that doubled as eye holes to an angry and furrowed Pete and back to the Pete he is today. Law of evolution.
Nick, this is terrifying.
I know, right? Not that he's particularly charming these days, but
it looks like what you would see in the next Saw movie. Like when you open the garage doors, that's going to be in there.
The first Purdue Pete. Oh wow, yeah, that's creepy.
Just three brothers Googling the first Purdue Pete together. This is what it's all about. All right, boys, I think that's the show. Anything else before we go?
Good luck, Robbie.
Good luck, Robbie. Enjoy your vacation and stop the bleeding on Friday. Thanks, everyone, listening. We set our socials at the top, so just replay it if you want to hear them again. I'm not doing that. For everyone, I am Nick Mills. That's Jake Mills. Thanks again, Jake, for producing the pod and joining us today. And Dusty Mills, thanks for being Dusty Mills, I guess.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Perfect. Peace. Don't X out yet. Once this stops.